Grandma, I've been in an accident and I need money right now, but please don't tell mom or dad. It's just a chilling phrase, isn't it? But for thousands of families, it's the start of a real nightmare. And this isn't just some random crime. It's actually a really sophisticated attack on one of our most powerful emotions, that deep, protective instinct a grandparent feels for a grandchild. So let's dive into how it works, because really understanding it is the absolute first step to making sure it never ever works on you.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to walk through this in 6 parts. First up, we'll look at how that love is actually weaponized and explore the new perfect storm of technology that's fueling these scams. Then we'll get practical and cover something called the verification protocol, plus a 3-step shield you can put in place. And we'll wrap up by talking about how your own wisdom is your greatest strength and how you can build a truly loving firewall to protect your family.
So let's get right to the heart of the matter. When you really boil it down, this scam isn't about money. Not really. It's all about emotion. It's about how your deepest, most loving instincts can be turned into a weapon by people who know exactly which buttons to push.
Okay, let's go back to that opening line for a second. It's a masterpiece of emotional manipulation. Every single word is carefully chosen to get a specific reaction out of you. You hear a panicked voice that sounds so familiar, claiming they're in trouble, and what happens? Your protective instincts just kick right in. Then comes the request for money, and of course your first thought is to help. But the real key, the crucial line, is please don't tell mom or dad. That right there, it creates this secret bond of trust between you and the caller. And in that one moment, you're not a skeptic anymore, you're a protector. And that is exactly what these criminals are counting on.
This whole thing has a name, and it's called the grandparent scam. And I really want to be crystal clear about something. Falling for this is not a sign of weakness. It's not. It's a sign that you are a loving, compassionate person. That's it. These scammers succeed because they have perfected a script that weaponizes that very compassion. It's like an emotional hack designed to completely bypass your logic and go straight for your heart.
So we can actually break this emotional hack down into a pretty simple formula. It's got 3 key parts. First, you've got urgency. The story is always happening right now, so you feel like you have no time to think. Second, there's secrecy. That request to keep it quiet, it's designed to isolate you from the very people who could tell you the story is fake. And third, distress. This is the emotional trigger. And honestly, it's now made terrifyingly real with AI voice cloning. Scammers can just grab audio from social media and create a perfect, heartbreakingly genuine clone of your grandchild's voice.
And, well, all of that brings us to why this threat is growing so much. We're just not dealing with shaky phone lines and generic stories anymore. What we're facing now is a kind of perfect storm of modern factors that make these scams way more targeted and believable than ever before.
And let's be honest, the stakes just couldn't be higher. For adults over 60, a major financial loss can be, well, it can be catastrophic. You have fewer years, fewer opportunities to recover that kind of money. A single scam can threaten your savings, your independence, your peace of mind. These criminals target you precisely because the impact is so severe. And the psychological cost, that feeling of shame, anxiety, the loss of confidence, that can be every bit as damaging as the financial one.
So what exactly makes up this perfect storm? Well, you can think of it like a recipe with a few key ingredients. First, as we've talked about, is that AI voice cloning, which just makes the impersonation devastatingly convincing. Next up is data mining. Scammers are digging up information online, from social media, from data breaches, to personalize the story with real details about your grandchild's life, which makes it feel so real. Then they use spoofed phone numbers, so the call might even look like it's coming from a number you recognize on your caller ID. And finally, there's the factor of social isolation, which, can make any of us more vulnerable to a voice on the phone that sounds friendly or, in this case, desperately needs our help.
Just look at the difference here. It's a really stark contrast. Think about it. In the past, a scammer's voice might have been kind of shaky or generic. The story details were often vague. The believability, it was moderate. A skeptical person could usually spot the holes. But now with AI, the voice is a perfect clone. The story is highly personalized with details they pulled from online. And the believability, it's not just moderate anymore. It is dangerously convincing. We are in a completely new era of deception.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty daunting, but knowledge really is power here. And that brings us to the single most powerful defense you have. The good news? It doesn't require any fancy technology. It just requires a crucial mental shift, a simple process I call the verification protocol. So what is the verification protocol? It's really just a commitment you make to yourself to confirm any emergency before you act on it. The core rule, the one thing you need to remember, is this: never, ever trust the source of the emergency. Don't trust the voice, don't trust the caller ID, don't trust the story. In that moment, your job isn't to solve the problem. Your job is just to verify if the problem is even real. And that small shift, it transforms the whole interaction from an emotional shock into a calm, logical defense.
So how do you know when to use this protocol? Well, you look for the fraud pattern. We've kind of touched on this already, but let's make it official. Any call that demands three things: urgency, secrecy, and an untraceable form of payment like gift cards, wire transfers, or crypto, that call is, by definition, a fraudulent call, period. A real emergency just doesn't work that way. Recognizing this three-part pattern is like having a built-in fraud detector in your mind. The second you hear those three demands, a big alarm should go off.
Okay, so recognizing the pattern, that's the first half of the battle. The second half is knowing exactly what to do next. So let's move from just understanding the problem to the clear, actionable steps you can take to build a shield around your family.
This really is the most important question, right? What can you do right now to protect your family? It's not about what you could do, or what you should do, but what you can do starting today to make your family pretty much immune to this threat. And the answer, you might be surprised to hear, is actually pretty simple. It all comes down to a little preparation and communication.
All right, here it is, your three-part shield. Step 1 is the safe word. Honestly, this is your most powerful tool. Just agree on a secret word or even a question with your family that only you guys would know. If a caller can't give it to you, you know it's a scam. Simple. Step 2, the immediate hang up. If you even suspect it's a scam, don't argue, don't engage, just say, "I need to verify this," and hang up the phone. Every extra second on that call is another chance for them to manipulate you. And step 3, the independent callback. After you hang up, call your family member directly using a number you already have saved in your phone. Never call back the number that just called you. That's it. That three-part plan, safe word, hang up, call back, is your complete defense.
You know, I want to shift our tone for just a moment here, because even with the best plan in the world, just being targeted by a scam like this can be really unsettling. It can make you feel afraid, or maybe even ashamed. So let's talk about that. Let's reframe it with the kind of perspective and wisdom that you've earned over a lifetime.
Please, I really need you to let this sink in. Being targeted by these criminals is not a personal failure. It is not a reflection of your intelligence or your judgment. In fact, it's the exact opposite. You're being targeted because you have things of value, financial resources you've worked your whole life for, and even more importantly, a deep capacity for love and a willingness to help your family. They see your goodness as a vulnerability they can exploit.
And here's something crucial to remember. You are not battling some criminal genius. You're battling a predictable, exploitative script, a script that we've just taken apart piece by piece. Your life experience, your awareness of their formula, that is so much more powerful than their tricks. When you internalize their pattern, that's how you take back control. And that makes our entire community stronger and safer.
All right, and that brings us to our final section. Let's take everything we've learned and distill it all down into one simple, powerful takeaway. A final lesson for living securely and confidently in this modern world.
The difference is really night and day when you lay it out. A real family crisis? It's open. It involves other family members. It uses normal payment methods, like a bank transfer. A real loved one will welcome your questions. But a scam lives in the dark. It demands total secrecy. It requires strange, untraceable payments, like gift cards. And it punishes you for asking questions. Just remember this one thing. A genuine family crisis will never be funded by secrecy and gift cards. And so as we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with a gentle challenge. The single most effective thing you can do to protect yourself and everyone you love, it's right here. Before you move on with your day, just make one call. Talk to your kids, talk to your grandkids. Establish your family's safe word today.
So in the end, what is the grandparent scam really all about? It's not just about money, is it? It's an attempt to take the incredible love you have for your family and twist it into a tool of fear. But by understanding their predictable script and having a simple defense ready, you take all of that power back. The most helpful habit you can carry forward from this is to just trust that pause, that moment after you hang up the phone to make your own independent callback. That little pause, that's where your wisdom lives.
And having that small conversation to set up a safe word, that's not just a security measure. It's truly an act of love. It is the most loving and effective firewall you can ever build. And it allows you to move forward, not with fear, but with the calm confidence that comes from being prepared, connected, and secure.